Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, and welcome to the Big 12 Insiders. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Look, we got a good show here for you today, just talking about, the Heisman. Travis Hunter over the weekend from Colorado won the Heisman. I thought it was well-deserved. It's not that other people weren't deserving. I just thought he was the most deserving. I'll kind of break down a little bit on why, what it means to the Big 12, if anything, what it means to possibly Colorado, if anything. And the second part on what I want to talk about, so make sure you guys stick around for this, is, individuals in the Big 12 have seen a lot of success, especially in these Heisman votings. But why do those same people that think that we have individual players that are good, that the conference as a whole is bad? So I'm going to break that down and talk about that a little bit too. So before we get into anything, remember, as always, remember to like, follow, subscribe, continue to get in those comments, and always hit the notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out. So, but breaking down this and getting into this, first things first, look, I thought Travis Hunter was deserving of the Heisman Trophy. And here's my reasons why. First off, we haven't seen anybody ever, and let me repeat that. We haven't seen anybody ever play at the level that he played on both sides of the football. We've seen guys dabble here and there, playing Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey. We've seen some guys dabble a little bit, but we've never seen anybody compete at the level that he has. Now, I am going to – I guess what I would say is I'm going to live in the world of I will take that he isn't the best wide receiver and the best cornerback in the country. I'm going to live in that world. I kind of think that he's in the top three of both, but you know what? I'll play along with that logic. But if you're top three wide receiver in the country and you're top three as a cornerback in the country, doesn't that equal to the best player in the country? Because I could see if you're saying, well, Ashton Jeanty is the best running back. I'd 100% agree. He is. But somebody else could be top three, and if they're top three at another position and are constantly on the football field, that has to mean something. Now, there's some people out there that are pushing back and saying stuff that we have literally never heard anybody complain about before. Well, Travis Hunter is the king of snaps, and all of a sudden, all he does is lead the country in snaps. We have never heard anybody badmouth somebody playing a lot of snaps. We've never heard that. Like, it's never even come up before. All of a sudden with Travis Hunter, now it's a problem. Well, why is that a problem? Like, shouldn't that be commended? Playing at that elite level, that many snaps in a football game, in a season. Do we not have the grace for that, or does that just not mean anything? Yeah, you were out there a lot, so what? Who cares? Oh, I didn't realize that now being out there and playing at an elite level, and what I'm not going to do is give grace to people that said that he's not an elite player on both sides of the football. If you want to get in the comments and say that, I'll go right back at you and tell you literally you have no idea what you're talking about. Now, I didn't say that he was the best wide receiver in the country. I didn't say that. Although he won the Biletnikoff Award, you can argue and say he didn't deserve it. I would say he did. I would say he's just as good as all the other guys. But again, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong if you want to say somebody else is better than him. Okay, fine. But one of those things that I'm not going to listen to is, well, we haven't seen anybody win the Triple Crown. We've seen plenty of wide receivers that had better stats than the Biletnikoff Award winner. We've seen that. So now, all of a sudden, Travis Hunter wins because he didn't lead the country in catches. He didn't lead the country in yards. He didn't lead the country in touchdown catches. Because he doesn't do that, all of a sudden, he's not a good receiver. I just don't understand that logic. I don't get it. But we've seen that before. But But then people say, well, he plays in the trash Big 12. The Big 12 is not any good. Okay. But you're just talking about a guy giving the Biletnikoff Award to a guy that plays Group of 5 football. So which is it? Is it the Big 12's trash? Group 5 trash? Like which avenue do you want to go down? Because it literally cannot be both. Either you want to say that he plays against bad competition, or he's actually playing pretty good. I mean, which is it? I just don't get it. I don't get that argument and that side of it. I think people just are coming up with ways not to like the kid. Okay, that's fine. And you can tell by their responses and what they say. Anybody that talks about, well, he only leads the country in snaps, you're literally inventing a way not to like this kid. And for me, it just comes down to just, I don't know, maybe jealousy. I mean, are you jealous of the kid and think somebody else is deserving? I can get if you think somebody else is deserving, but don't make it about snap count. That's the most ridiculous argument I think I've ever heard, because we've never held that against anybody ever. You usually get commended for all the snaps that you play. Now, all of a sudden, because you don't want somebody to win an award, it's a detriment. Society's crazy, man. It's just crazy. And as far as him winning the Bednarik Award, as far as the best defensive player, I mean, I don't know. If you're in the running, and you can't be honest and say that he wasn't in the conversation for that, and you can't be honest and say that he wasn't in the conversation for the Biletnikoff, even if you don't believe that he should have won it, I'll even give you that grace and say, okay, fine, he shouldn't have. But he was absolutely supposed to be in the running. Absolutely. And when you combine all of that all into this one particular ball and put it all together, how is that not the best player in the country? I just don't get it. I don't get it. And anybody out there that say, oh, well, there were 7 to 10 wide receivers in the Big 12 better than him. First of all, I won't even answer that. I won't even respond to that, because you know you're lying. There wasn't 10 wide receivers in the country better than him, because, again, I know you're lying. Just like cornerback, there wasn't 10 better than him. So I just, at some point, you have to just understand. Now, again, I don't think it should have been a runaway, but I think Travis Hunter was very, very deserving of this win. Very deserving. Because, again, you haven't seen anybody do that. I don't get into well, he's a unicorn. I'm not getting into that aspect of it. But what I am getting into the aspect of it, we just haven't seen anybody play at that elite of a level on both sides of the football in the same season. We just haven't seen that before. Never, ever. And maybe we never will again. I don't know. But I've been watching college football a long time, never seen it. Never seen it. So good for him for winning the award. Now, what does it mean for Colorado? Like, is there any type of advantage for Colorado or even nationally for the Big 12, I should say? I don't know. Because let me ask you guys this question. For me, what a lot of people do with Colorado is, well, it's kind of, they put Colorado in the Big 12 when it's convenient for them. And let me tell you what I mean by that. They put Colorado in the Big 12 when they want to say the Big 12 is not a good conference. They're in the Big 12. It's trash. It's no good. It's not good competition, yada, yada, yada. We've heard it all. So they put Colorado in that. But when it comes to viewership, they don't. They say they kind of separate Colorado from the rest of the conference when it comes to viewership and popularity, and move them on a different platform, a different stage. Well, you can't do that, people. Colorado is in the Big 12. I know they just came back to the Big 12, but they're in it. They probably should have never left, but they're in it. So you have to combine it. So I think it does mean something for Colorado. I think it's going to help Colorado recruit. Something that people have been bashing them, saying they don't recruit. Well, you look at their recruiting class this year, it's pretty good. It's not 50 guys or 25 guys, but you look at them, yeah, it's actually pretty good. So I think it's going to help even more. As far as the Big 12, well, kind of what I was talking about, at the beginning of this, is that the Big 12 has always done well in Heisman voting. Like, always done well when it comes to Heisman people. I mean, you can go back to the very beginning of when the Big 12 started in 1996. The Big 12 has always represented itself very, very well when it comes to Heisman voters. Well, why over the last 15 years or so are we saying the Big 12, it's not a good conference when the same people that will vote for Big 12 guys to win it, and then all of a sudden they're going to turn the tables and say, oh, well, hold on a second. Well, the conference isn't very good. It's not, but you will vote for guys to win it. Well, which is it? Again, either the conference is pretty good or it's not. Either they have good players in this conference that we think are the best football players in the entire country, or it's not. Because again, I think Cam Scatteraboo got shafted on not getting invited to the Heisman ceremony. I think there should have been 5 people. Personally, I think there should have been 6. I think Shedeur Sanders should have been invited. And maybe you don't. I think Shedeur is better than Cam Ward. I think he should have been invited instead of Cam Ward. Now, people, you can say it and get in the comments and beat me up over it all you want. That's just my personal opinion. You're not going to change my mind about it. I think there should have been 3 guys from the Big 12 that should have been invited to this thing. That's my personal belief. But for a conference that's, oh, man, it's bad. The Mountain West is better. You know, the Mountain West Conference is better. You know, for that, I mean, they sure do have a lot of good players. Because, again, Travis Hunter won the award. Okay. Cam Scatteraboo finished 5th. Shedeur Sanders should have finished higher, but he finished 8th. I mean, for a conference that's mediocre at best, they sure did have a pretty good players in this conference, don't they? Because, again, these are the best football players in the entire country, which people believe that are the best football players in the country. Now, you can't have 3 guys in the top 8 of just a bad conference. And, again, of the best players in the country. How does that even make sense? Like, how do you, I mean, it's just like Ashton Genty. They talk about Ashton Genty, and the counter to Ashton Genty is, well, he played in the Mountain West. So the stats are inflated because he played in the Mountain West. Well, enough people sure didn't think so because he damn near won this thing. So regardless of where he played, you thought that he was one of the better players in the country. Okay. Well, you can't have 3 of those guys in the same conference, can you? And then that conference just be trash. That doesn't even make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. 3 different guys are in this conference, but the entire conference is just mediocre? And these 3 guys are some of the best football players in the country? I don't get that. I don't get it, you know? But it is what it is. And I get it. The Big 12 is going to have to go out and snatch some respect from college football fans. The only way you can do that this year, Arizona State's going to have to win a football game. And then if they do win, if they happen to lose, they can't get – they got to win one, number one. That, no doubt. For the Big 12 to get any type of respect, Arizona State's got to win a football game. They do. And then if they happen to lose another one, they can't get TCU Georgia. That can't happen. Because if it does, everybody's going to forget that they actually won a football game. Just like everybody has literally forgotten that TCU actually beat Michigan in 2022. People, they don't even bring it up, don't mention it. It's like it never happened. So that can't happen to Arizona State. I think they're going to win, though, their first round game. That's just my personal opinion. I think they have a good a shot as anybody to win that football game. I think they're going to be rested. I think they're going to be healed up. I think they have the right mentality. I think they bring the right physicality. But that's a different conversation. We'll bring all that up. I'm just getting into the bashing of the Big 12. I get tired of it. I know I'm a homer. I understand that. But you can't have 3 of the top players in the country and your conference just be garbage. Because the one thing that I know for an absolute fact, if it was the Big 10 or the SEC, the thing that you would be hearing is, you see how good this conference is? We got 3 of the top 8 guys in the country that play in our conference. That's how good our conference is. When it's the Big 12, they don't even mention it. Like, have you heard anybody bring that up? Like, seriously, have you heard anybody mention that at all? They have 3 of the top 8 players in the country that got voted on to be 3 of the top 8 players, best players in the country. Have you heard anybody talk about that? No. If it were the Big 10 or the SEC, they'd be beating their chest up. And maybe that's a Big 12's fault. Maybe, Brett Yormark has to do an even better job of pounding his chest about that and getting more people to talk about it, because I'll talk about it all day long. Unfortunately, until my platform gets big enough, people aren't hearing that. But I'll talk about it because it needs to be talked about. Hopefully you guys will talk about it because it needs to be talked about. So that's all I got for you today, man. I appreciate you guys, as always, joining in. Remember, like, follow, subscribe. Continue to dive in those comments. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about this one, because I think it's an important topic to talk about. 3 guys in the top 8 of the best players in the country, but yet your conference is garbage. Makes absolutely no sense to me. No sense. And it doesn't matter that 2 of them are on the same team. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. So appreciate you guys, man. Thank you, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.